It's Baby Mario. It's the real Mario. It's me. It's Ryan, the game show guy. Hey, everybody, playing Mario Kart Quiz Cup. I've had a couple different Mario Kart iterations, and I'm making this new video here. This one's all because I think I got the answer now. I think I'm finally dialed in, and so this is the idea that we're going to be using. This video is about the game Mario Kart Cup that I've came up with, Quiz Cup, but this is more importantly about the platform that's being used. This platform is called Genially. I've talked about it a bunch already recently. I'm going to be converting so many of my games over to it because it's got so many more amazing game elements that you can be able to utilize. And so this tutorial is designed primarily for those of you who are wanting to play the Genially version of this one, which is the one I definitely recommend. And so if you're ready for it, get yourself a free account if you haven't got one already. And all the free accounts, all that you need to be able to use this. You get the links that I've got that go along with the game, and let's get ourselves ready for a little bit Mario Kart Quiz Cup. Get ready, strap it on, because we're doing some Mario Kart. What I love about trying to be able to use games that kids know is that they find fun just in that idea. And nowadays, I know I'm the game show guy, but kids don't really know Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune and Press Your Luck, but they know themselves some Mario Kart, so it's fun to be able to tap into that a cultural thing that so many of them play and they know, regardless of what grade level that they're at, right? So this is a game that can be played at any grade, like a lot of mine. Adults, kids, doesn't really necessarily matter. All right, so now this game's gonna be different than a lot of others. This isn't your standard kind of My Jeopardy kind of games or Kahoot kind of games where there's displayed up on the board a question and then the kids have to be able to answer it. And the idea that whoever can answer wins, or whoever answers the most or the fastest wins. This is different because the idea that no longer are we going to be using the main screen in the classroom, which you are and you can, I'm going to describe that in a second, but this is a small group game. All started with the idea of, I started doing Battleship with my students because I realized, or the idea of that, can I be able to use their devices, those Chromebooks that they have in front of them, can we be able to use them as game boards? And so Battleship was great. Two of them facing each other, classic sort of a Battleship game. This one's designed is, can I be able to use the one Chromebook in front of them as a game board, but it's a shared game board that we're all going to look at. And so you can see here on the screen is that this is the board that I've ultimately created. And it's only going to be one per group. So this is a small group game. Very different from a large group game or an individual kind of a game. Small group games. And so the groups should be somewhere between 3 to 5. And each of them pick, hello, it's me, I'm Mario. They're going to be able to pick one of their characters that they want to be able to race with. And you can see the 5 that I have there. And the kids are going to decide, okay, who am I going to be able to play? And from there, they're going to be able to race their character around the board, and whoever's farthest along wins. So that's it. So now what Genially offers here is, if I'm looking at this, what Genially is a program that has much more interactive and elements, and PowerPoint has some of those, but what the biggest thing is the movable items. And so I can see that my 5 racers there on the bottom, when I'm in the edit mode here, but when I put this into the present or the full mode, is that now I can grab these characters and be able to move them around. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Move Mario over 4 there. Move Peach over 5. And it also has interactive widgets, so I can be able to roll a dice over here. Yay, and I roll a 4 kind of a thing. And this is all within here. And every time I hop back out of it, all of that's going to go away because those are just movable elements on top of it. So you want to be careful that they don't get out of the game, because if they ever click out of that game, then everything is going to get reset back to the beginning. So the essence of this is that I'm going to be able to give kids this, Google Classroom or whatever LMS that you have. You give them this file, then they are going to sit around in a group of between 3 to 5, and they're going to have one of these opened up where they're going to move their characters. Then the second thing that they're going to need is they're going to answer questions. The way that I'm doing questions on these ones, I've been a big fan lately, it's called paper. Paper and a pen, we don't need the digital device very much. And so this is the way that I'm going to give the questions, and they answer the questions, and I'll explain that in a second. But let me tell you the basic gameplay of this is that kids are going to now roll a die and move their character. Okay, along the way, they can land on certain things. So let's say if Mario rolls a 3 and he lands on this mystery item, then I have built this interactive element, this widget, that now you have to, just like in the game, what is the random mystery item going to be? Hey, the player in front of you moves back 1, or somebody else moves back. So they're either things that happen to other people or happen to you. They're all randomized, and I got there's a lot of them in there to be able to get a fair amount of randomness to it all. And those work really well once you get all the racers on the board or whatever, and they're all moving around. We have some other elements you can see. If I'm Toad and I land here on this jump, then I'm like, whee, I jump all the way over. Or if I'm Bowser and I roll a 2 and I'm like 1, 2, oh no, I landed on Piranha Plant, and now Piranha Plant says I got to move back 3, or this little slider thing moves you or whatever. So I have some of these sort of elements that basically are going to move you around. Again, like I mentioned, balancing a skill of how well I answer the question versus the luck. In this game, there's going to be a lot of luck. So does skill help at all? Well, it does, because what the skill does is that's going to allow you to, how many times do I get to be able to roll and move my character? And the way that I play this is that if you answered correctly, you get to move your character, and if you answered wrong, then you don't get to play for this for that round. So if you think about it, well, so like multiple rolls would give you an increased chance, but not necessarily. I could get 2 questions right and roll a 1 and a 2, or I could only get 1 question right and roll a 6. And then on top of that, I could roll but land on a mystery item that moves me forward or back all over the place. So it's kind of a fun way to be able to do. There's a lot of crazy moving around in this game, and it's a lot of fun. So that's, in essence, the game. This is what the kids play. Now I know what you're thinking, like, Ryan, where are the questions? Hey, that's a good question about the questions. So how do you get the questions to them? I got 2 ways to do that. One of them, this first one I'm going to show you is I haven't actually tried it myself, which is, what if you built the questions directly within here, and they can kind of run it independently on their own? So if I got all my little groups in class, let me show you what this one looks like. Now in the middle of the track, I have built in 28 questions. I'll explain how many that you can be able to use, but in a second. But let's say then the kids would then independently on their own, they can say, hey, I'm going to click on number 1. Number 1 brings up a question that you would fill this in ahead of time. They would write down their answer, and then they click on the answer, and then the answer shows up, and then they hop back out. So they can do it that way, that they're all independently doing within theirs. Or the way that I like to be able to do the game is that I'm going to have a completely separate document going on. Now this is again in Genially. It doesn't necessarily have to. I do have a PowerPoint version that's up there, or a Google Slides. But basically this is, you can see, these are just going to be, hey, I have a question that's up. Okay, as the question comes up right here, you just type in the question, and then the kids write down their answers. And then the answers then you show the answer, and if they got it right or wrong. So that's basically all that this is. This is just a document of normal questions and answers kind of a thing. This is what I display up on the screen, the classroom one, and the kids will be playing on their independent one. Then, where do they answer? Let's talk about this thing. So this is the scorecard that I have. And what the scorecard allows you to be able to do is keep, first off, it's where they do their scoring. So the kids got their stuff, and like question number, what kind of rock does the, okay, and the kids not write down their answers, like, and then they cover their hands, because definitely, I tell them, wandering eyes. There's a lot of, I wasn't planning on cheating, but my eyes wandered kind of a thing in games like this. So the kids all write them down, and now I will do 3. As you can see on here, I've broken them up into do question 1, question 2, question 3, 3 questions, and then we race. As opposed to doing every question and then we race over to the board, because it's like anything, there's transitions, and if we're doing back and forth the entire time, it slows it down. So I've broken it up. Let's answer 3 questions. After those 3 questions, then I keep track of if I got it right, yes, no, yes. Great, so I'm going to go for 2 rounds. Another kid in the group got all 3 right. Somebody else got 2. One person got 1. So then when we move over to the racing part of the game, when we're here in the race game, then we just go, hey, who goes this round, who goes the second round, and then the third round, and then we go back to the questions. So it gives me more of a question time. Chunk, and then we go, hey, now it's racing time, chunk, which also changes it for me too. Now I'm not necessarily running the game the whole time. I'm doing questions, and then when the kids are racing, then I get to be able to walk around, and then they get to engage more in the Mario Kart craziness of them moving and rolling and things that are ultimately happening to them. So I find that fun little break of that chunking kind of a thing. So you could do more or less. I have built this scorecard PDF that way. You can just you can change and do whatever you want. You don't even need this. You can just use a piece of paper. But this was a nice way to be able to keep track of that. There's also a spot up here that you can be able to keep track of how many laps they do. What do you mean by laps? Well, what the point on this one is how do you end the game? The game is not designed for the first person to come around to the end like a normal Mario Kart game, because that could be fast, it could be slow. This game is designed basically on you. How many questions do you want to get done? And so let's say I want to be able to do 20 questions, or 28, let's say that's what I have on the other side. Then you're just going to say, hey, we're just going to keep racing until we get 28 questions. Once those 28 questions are done, whoever's in the lead, yay, you're the winner. And also the cool part, by the way, you don't have one winner. You have, if I got groups, my groups are 3 to 5, that means I'm going to have each group's going to have its own winner. So that way I get to be able to diversify and spread it out a little bit. One of my problems that I always have with those online ones where it's just, hey, whoever answers the most and the fastest wins. And we got one winner in class and it usually is the same 5 to 7 kids every single time. So you're like, this has much more chance of winning and many more possible winners. And so, like I said, I did this with my kids, had a lot of fun, learned some stuff along the way. Like one of the things that I learned was the idea about keeping track on their paper of their laps, because who wins? If I go all the way around and I pass the finish line, what do? Well, let me just say that I'm on lap number 2 now, or I'm lap number 3. So once I get to the last question, 28, whoever's farthest along wins. So that's it. You just go through a certain number of questions. I found myself doing, I think I did about 25 questions or so, and my kids only went through one lap and about halfway through another one. But feel free to come up with as many as you like, test the thing out. Play with it. And as with all of what I do with my games is that I do content, and throw some fun questions in there. Stuff about my school or pop culture or things like that, that kind of be able to add some fun to the experience that it is the game that you're doing. So over here on the questions, so as I'm doing these questions, let me show you what ultimately this looks like. You're going to be able to go into here into Genially. This is the one that you're going to put up. And it has some, you can see there's some sounds that are on here that I try to be able to make it almost all my games sort of that feeling and experience. When you start it, it says, hey, by the way, click on for the sound. So here's the sound. As the sound comes up, you can go over directions. These are my directions to you. So I tell the kids first off, hey everybody, pick your racers, right? And they all check off about who's their racer on their little worksheet that they have. Everybody needs to have one of these, really set good. And then the question comes up. We tell everybody, all right, hey, here comes question number 1. Are you ready? Get your pencils ready, get your hands ready to cover what you do it. You put up the question, hey everybody, what are the kind of rocks that do? And then they do their, they cover it up. Show me your answer, or not show your answers, and the answer is, who's got it? Right, Tommy, it is a metamorphic rock, right? At that point, you can do your little teaching, reteaching kind of a thing. The kids need to show each other. I have them show them because people say, oh, I got it right, like later on. So no, they check it off and say, yes, they got it right, they got it wrong. And that's it. As you can see, I got a whole bunch of these ones. You decide I can be able to add more, just duplicate these if I want more or less. Every third one, by the way, I've built in, it just adds more racing to get more moving. Every third one I do a double, which I put as my bullet bill. So I do question 1, question 2, and then double. And the bullet bill basically says, if you get this one right, we call it like a money ball in sports. Like, you got it right, nice job. So that means you're shooting, you're going to roll 2 times. In terms of rolling back on over here, is that I've tried it 2 different ways. Genially has some great widgets, this built-in die widget that you have right there that can be able to spin. I tried when I play with my kids 2 different ways. I always talk about using real objects. Hey, have a real die and roll that thing. Hey, I got a 6, nice job. My problem though I noticed is that my tables are kind of small. So with the paper and then the Chromebook and then them all huddled around, I noticed that the die were falling off the ground in a little bit. But maybe if you got some more space, but the digital one works just as well there too. So anyway, this is one of my newer games. Like I said, I've done this one a few times. Would love to be able to get some feedback. Feedback anywhere where you want to be able to see it on my TikTok, on my YouTubes, on Teachers Pay Teachers, if you're able to be able to play with this thing and check it out. I've had a whole lot of fun with this one called Mario Kart Quiz Cup, and I hope you do as well, folks. Enjoy. This is Ryan the Game Show Guy.